Hey everyone, welcome to City Boy. My name is Matt. If you've been following this channel, you know that I'm reviewing every single restaurant in Little Italy, which is very exciting, but this time something really exciting happened. I discovered a grisly murder. It turns out that Umberto's Clam House was the place where mobster Joe Gallo was murdered in 1972. And so, I decided to get together a bunch of actors to reenact his death for you. Really excited about it, but first, let's get to the food. This time, I decided to bring my friend Bradley with me, who knows a lot about food because he works in restaurants.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna go. We're gonna have some Italian food in Little Italy.
This is gonna be Umberto's.
Yes.
And
the Clam House.
The Clam House.
Yes.
You scouted. You went
I scouted. The signs are very like rusted and like old school, and like you can tell it's been there for a long time. So it's very quintessentially
You're feeling
Little
good about
Italy.
this one. Okay.
Yeah, it's quintessentially Little Italy.
Did you know that Umberto's had like a crazy mob boss murder that happened there?
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It's definitely been there long enough.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Right off the bat, this place was everything that I wanted it to be. The smell of sweet garlic, a host that was singing Sinatra as we came through the door. They seated us right on Mulberry Street, and we started things off with some Blue Point oysters, which were fresh, but kind of average as far as flavor goes, and some little neck clams, which were, everything that you could have wanted in a clam. They were fresh, they were tasty, super wonderful. Umberto's definitely earns the right to call themselves a clam house. Here's what Bradley had to say.
The clams, A+, oysters, we'll go with C-.
Now, do you have thoughts specifically on the Blue Point oyster?
Well, I don't really like the Blue Point oyster in general. I think it's a very cheap oyster in general. It's a high commodity oyster, and it doesn't have a lot of saline, so it's not super acidic, and it's not really salty, and it doesn't have a lot of body, and then there's not a lot of like fleshiness to it. It's just really a smooth oyster, but doesn't have any like flavor to back it up. So I think it's a kind of boring oyster.
So you don't know much about it, though.
No, I don't know that much about it. No.
One of the things that I loved about Umberto's was the theater of the experience. We started out, we're right on the street, there's a guy playing an accordion, they put down a bread basket and some olive oil. The olive oil had peppers, garlic, herbs. I thought it was delicious. Bradley wanted some better quality olive oil, but I was totally fine just considering that they mixed these things in there, and I thought it was great. But then we wound up getting some wine. So we ordered a Corvo Bianco from Sicily. What came out was an Orvieto Classico. It was not a mistake. The guy comes out with the bottle and he's like, this one's better. And they were out of the other one, but he was like, but you're gonna like this one so much better. And I don't know, who knows if it was better. Bradley was a sommelier at one point in time, picked it because he thought that, that the Corvo Bianco would go well with all the things we were eating. Maybe it would have been better, I don't know. The guy came out though and was like, this one's better. And I enjoyed the shtick and the theater and the experience of it all. We wound up getting baked clams to move on with, which I hadn't really experienced outside of like Clam's Casino, but I just want you to know that if I could be anywhere else right now, I would be down at Umberto's having those baked clams right this very minute. They were incredible. They were crusty and tasty, and then there were clams like underneath, which I know they're baked clams, but I can't even explain. They were these delicious top neck clams with a little bit of broth underneath, and they were just crusted with seasoning and breadcrumbs, and like the clams were totally intact as their own dish. Incredible. Here's what Bradley had to say.
Baked clams were so good. Okay,
Yeah.
So baked clams are so easy to... Can I say the F word?
I don't know.
Baked clams are so easy to fuck up. They're so easy to fuck up.
It is. We said it.
We said it.
It's been said on this channel.
It's been said. And so the baked clams were really good. So they were really moist, really tender. The breading on top had this great texture, really nice crunch. Had this beautiful kind of like crust filmed over the top. But he had a lot of like flavor and textures on the insides.
Okay, so I was doing a little bit of research, trying to learn as much as I could about Umberto's before I went to eat there, and I came across, obviously the killing, but also a review from a professional reviewer at Zagat who, I didn't even know they had those, but they do. And that reviewer was not impressed with the seafood at the restaurant. I don't know why, because I thought it was real good, but they liked the meatballs. So I thought, well, sure, all right, we'll get the meatballs. And let me just tell you, either that reviewer had a totally different experience at a different point in time than I did, or they don't know anything about food. Because those meatballs were just kind of meh. I mean, they weren't bad. They just weren't doing anything for me. Like, there wasn't any like, oh, the sauce is so good or the meatballs are so good. They were fine. Perfectly passable. Would not have been mad if I ordered them. Fine. Here's what Bradley had to say.
I thought meatballs were good, but you could tell that they weren't focused. So they just tasted like a meatball. So nothing super exciting. I thought they were undersalted, and so you didn't taste a lot of the like complexities that I think probably were lying in there. And then the sauce I thought was super bland.
So I know you're waiting for it. Umberto's Clam House linguine with clam sauce. So they used a lot of fresh clams, and you're thinking that's bad. No, it's not bad. That's really good. They did real good with lots of fresh clams. The problem with it was the sauce. They did not cook that sauce down enough. Like, you need that clam broth and juice to sort of meld together with the olive oil and make this delicious sauce, and it just didn't get there. Could have been next level. Definitely had some things going for it. Here's what Bradley had to say.
Clams in the linguine, the clams were good. I thought the linguine was slightly overcooked, so it didn't have any bite at all. It wasn't like super soggy, but didn't have any bite. And then I thought the sauce was really watered down.
I know that I said that the baked clams were my favorite, but it's also really hard to say that considering how good the lobster ravioli at Umberto's was. I cannot recommend that dish enough either. It was stuffed full of lobster. It was like a ricotta filling, but lots and lots of lobster in it, and then a creamy sauce with shallot and chive. I really think that it is worth visiting Little Italy. So we have already video 2, here we go, answering this question. Yes, there is good food in Little Italy. It was fantastic. Here's what Bradley had to say.
I am terrified of ordering lobster. I'm like with people who doesn't order lobster or chicken on the menu because usually it's a throwaway. Everybody's going to order the chicken dish, everybody's going to order the lobster dish, and a lot of times they're done subpar. This lobster ravioli was really, really good. So the sauce on it was great. It was definitely like thickened and like really stuck to the ravioli really, really well. And then the stuffing itself had this like ricotta in it and like was full knuckles, and like definitely could tell was fresh lobster that had been like taken on site and put together on site.
So we finished our meal the way that I think that any good Italian meal should end, and that was with espresso. I know, you thought I was gonna say dessert. We actually went to Maialino's for tiramisu, and I am not gonna include that in this video. Another time I will tell you about Maialino's, which is a fantastic Roman restaurant. But I have teased you long enough. I told you somebody died 47 years ago in Umberto's, and that was a guy named Joe Gallo. He was a mobster. These past few weeks, I decided to write and direct a radio play about his death. I found some fantastic actors who you can meet just after this short presentation of the radio play that I wrote, The Death of Joe Gallo.
It was about 4:45 on the morning of April 7th, 1972, when Joe Gallo, aka Crazy Joe, a member of the Colombo crime syndicate, walked into Umberto's Clam House. He'd been celebrating his birthday at New York's Copacabana. After shutting the place down, Joe wasn't ready for the night to end, so he and his family took the party to Little Italy's newest restaurant.
Is that Joe Gallo coming in?
You got that look in your eye. I don't like it. Everyone knows Little Italy is neutral territory.
I gotta go.
You can't hit a guy in front of his family.
This ought to cover it.
It's too much, Mr. Luparelli. Hey, where are you going? We don't want no trouble here. Who
Who you gotta kill to get a meal around here?
Mr. Gallo. Hey, come right this way. And who do I have the pleasure of meeting here with you tonight?
It's my beautiful wife, Sina.
Congratulations. I hear the wedding was beautiful.
Thank you.
She used to be a nun. Can you believe that? See, babe? You don't believe it neither. Nobody believes it.
Joe.
My daughter, Lisa. Lisa, say hi to the nice man, sweetheart.
Giuseppe, lei stanca, basta.
Okay. This is my sister, Carmella.
Ciao, bella.
I like this place already.
You know my bodyguard, Pete the Greek, and his girl?
Ciao. Ciao. Sit, please.
Bring me some, scungil, some mussel.
Calamad?
Yeah, galamad, some wine, plenty of wine.
Va bene.
43 today. Or yesterday. But it's still today.
Yeah, he needs more wine.
I still can't get over Don Rickles' mother telling you couldn't talk to him unless you put your guns on the table.
She don't know Joey's gone straight now he's out of prison.
I didn't know either.
Watch your mouth, you dumb greaseball.
And look what it's got you. Friends like Jerry Orbach.
Calamad and the mussels.
If you'd have told me I'd be hanging around with celebrities, well...
What's the matter with you?
He's got a gun.
Under the table!
Mommy?
Lisa, get under my coat and don't...
Get under the table!
Get down!
Under the fucking table! Get back! Leave me alone! Piece of shit shot me in the ass!
In front of his family like an animal?
Play one out for me, Pete.
Joe, are you okay?
I'm losing a lot of blood.
We've got to get him to the hospital.
Those gods of sons of bitches.
Pete?
I'm fine. You two get his feet and hold him up above his heart.
He's going to be fine, Carmella. Here, come on, grab the leg.
That's it. Slowly.
Joey!
Watch the door, Pete.
Got it?
Yeah,
What's wrong?
put him down. Put him down. You okay, Joe? Joe. Oh, God. Don't you fall asleep, Joe. Joe? Joe!
Another gangland killing.
I swear to God, my son killed Dragons.
It's their choice.
That's Joe Gallo, I'm sure.
It's not safe.
Thank you so much for joining us again on this episode of City Boy. If you like what you saw, remember to subscribe and like this video. You can also continue to support original content like the radio play that you saw today, or potentially at some point, a short film, by joining and subscribing our Patreon channel. You'll find information about that in the link below. And before we head to black, here are the actors that I worked with in the death of Joe Gallo.
My name's Stu Chirichella. I'm playing Crazy Joe.
Hi, my name's Gina Daidone, and I'm playing Sina.
Hi, I'm Dina and I'm playing Carmella.
Hey, my name's Anthony Notarile, and I'm playing Pete the Greek.
Nicko Libowitz. I'm playing Luparelli.